6 billion human lives ended on July 23, 2021. The survivors of the nuclear fire called the war Judgment Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines. As before, the resistance was able to send a lone warrior, a protector for Callum. But this protector's only weakness was not being able to tell the difference between a dog, a pig, and a loaf of bread.
Munchie, don't be scared.
Why are you clutching that large feral hog like it's a child?
That's not a feral hog. It's Munchie.
What? Is that a dog or... Dog, pig, dog, pig, dog, pig, dog, pig, dog. Loaf of bread. System error. Come on.
Katamari damashi.
Save the world. So we need to teach our robots not to blow up when they see a pig, a dog, or a loaf of bread. So I've got an app here that I've created in Flutter. You can see I've just started it up, and I've got Davey there, my dog, in a DataRobot t-shirt. And I'm going to identify him as a dog or tag him as a dog by swiping to the right. Now I've got a whole lot of other images. There's about 100 of them. So what I'm going to do is actually speed this up. This is actually a recording. But you can see and I've got a loaf of bread. So I can see here that what I'm doing is swiping to the right for a dog, swiping to the left for a pig, and then swiping up for a loaf of bread. And really what this is doing is generating a training data set. So I'm tagging all of these images and generating a JSON file behind the scenes. So I need to train a big enough data set, hence why there's so many images. And here's some personal favorites of chihuahuas and muffins, which I think are incredibly cute. And there's some sausage dogs with bagels as well. And I actually scraped the DataRobot Slack channel for dogs, so you may see your pooch on here as a star of this demo. So right at the moment, I think the significance of this approach to training a model is that you lower the barrier to entry, and you can have subject matter experts on numerous different things. We're talking to a customer at the moment about document classification, and I'm hoping to pitch to them a very similar idea. Hence the motivation behind this hackathon. I also watched that Mitchell's versus the Machine movie just last weekend with my daughters, and thought that it would be kind of a cool project to test out on Visual AI. But I've just moved the screen into just to show you the actual architecture of this project while I continue to train my model. So you can see we're going to start over at the left-hand side. And this is an app to generate training data and then go and build models on DataRobot, all through just a single click. And so what I've got here is a Dart and Flutter app. Well, it's a Flutter app coded in Dart. And I'm unfortunately I didn't use the DataRobot framework, but I will definitely be checking that out soon. And you can see here I chose the way in which to train a model using the very familiar swipe methodology. And so I'm just swiping left, swiping right, and swiping up. Once I'm finished with that, I click that purple button on the bottom, and you'll see that happen in just a moment, and it'll be sent to an AWS API gateway. That gateway will then trigger, it's a REST API essentially. It triggers a Lambda function, and then that Lambda function will package up the data into a format that DataRobot's expecting in the images, and then go and kick off the upload to the AI catalog, and then finally kick off the training. Now, one thing that I didn't get to because I just didn't have time. It would have been nice, and you can see I've just pointed it out in the last section of this slide, is it would have been nice to actually deploy the model in MLOps and then hide it behind an endpoint or put it behind an endpoint, and then have that endpoint available to the app, so you could take a picture on your app and it can tell you whether it was a dog, a pig, or a loaf of bread. So I'm getting to the end of the images, or the end of the data set. And the next thing that I'm going to do is click that purple button at the bottom of the screen there. And the purple button essentially does everything. It goes and trains the DataRobot model. Now we know it's a little more complex than that because we're calling a REST API endpoint, and that's kicking off a Lambda function, which is structuring the data in such a way that it can be accepted by DataRobot. But it gives me great pleasure that I need to speed this video up, and great pleasure because I get to use this music. So here goes. I'll talk to you in a moment. Okay, so I've taken you through that. Hopefully you enjoyed that little fast forward. The last thing to do, by the way, one thing I did want to mention is I used serverless for deploying my Lambdas, and it was just a joy to use. So if you're using Lambdas, use serverless. So I did run through the 3 examples: a dog, pig, loaf of bread in the model. These are the results. Predicted bread well, predicted pig okay, and then dogs 55%, maybe not so good, so it could be improved. Any more information, please feel free to reach out to me on Slack at Callum or email me at callum@datarobot.com. Thank you very much.